Welcome back to the final episode in our Prime Cuts Schlock Horror Extravaganza. If you've been listening or if you're just tuning in tonight, over the last couple of months, the CIU crew has chopped up some forgotten classic films, and we hope you'll enjoy tonight's offering, the absolutely batshit bonkers crazy movie, Night Killer from 1990. Brought to you by Italian slasher master director Claudio Fragasso, we follow Melanie Beck, who is attacked by a murderous psychopath in her Virginia Beach home. Suffering from amnesia as a result of the attack, Melanie fights for her life to stop the attacker from returning to finish the job as she tries to get her life back. If you're interested in watching this movie, it's now available for free via the best app on the planet, Tubi. And as a reminder, Prime Cuts is designed as a quick-hitting, free-form conversation where we discuss a breadth of horror mediums, including anthologies, theatrical releases, graphic novels, shorts, and other forms of media. There's no set agenda here as we shoot from the hip and provide any gleaned insights from our respective viewings. All right, Jeannie, we made it. The final episode in our Schlock Horror Extravaganza, and this one is absolutely the most insane flick of them all. I know you saw it a while back. That was mid-COVID. We just went through our old text messages.
Yeah.
2022. That was the first time I saw it. I immediately thought you need to watch it also.
Yes.
What'd you think?
I mean, I just think it's so classic. I'm sad that I didn't get a chance to rewatch it this time because I'm looking back and reading these. It's like, oh my God, it was just so off the hinges. The acting, the randomness of everything. You're like, what?
Yeah. So in this series, we've done a lot of movies that are international. We did, a Dutch movie, a Spanish, a Spanish director who was filmed partially in Madrid. And this is done by the Italian director, Claudio Fragasso, and Bruno Mattei, who was later brought in to jump up some of the gore scenes. But this has another one that's filmed partially on location in Virginia Beach, where it's set in Virginia, in America, and then partially in Rome, Italy, for the interiors and the gores.
Beautiful filming locations of Virginia Beach and Italy.
And Rome, yeah.
I'd put those two up there together.
Exactly. So let me just run through some of the cast and crew, and then we can get into it proper. The director's wife, so Claudio Fragasso's wife, actually co-wrote this and Troll 2, which Fragasso himself is credited with. Yeah, Troll 2. Have you ever seen Troll 2?
I don't think so.
Oh my God, that is a famously good bad one. It has nothing to do with, there's another movie called Troll, but Troll 2 has nothing to do with Troll. And this is this is something that happens a lot. It's a recurring theme with Bruno Mattei and Fragasso. They tend to throw names in of movies that they think will help them get eyeballs and sell tickets, but that has nothing to do with it. For example, this movie, Night Killer, when it was released in Italy, let's see here, was released in Italy as an unofficial sequel to Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, an unofficial sequel.
The same year that the official sequel, Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, was released. In Italy, it was titled Non aprit Kia Porta 3, which translates roughly to Don't Open That Door 3. They did it basically just to capitalize on a big name, which is something that Mattei specifically had done previously. So the writer, of course, Fragasso also wrote it. Cinematography is Antonio Macapi, and the cast features Peter Hooten. None of these are real big names, right? But yeah. Peter Hooten is Axel. Tara Buckman is Melanie Beck, the main protagonist, right?
Yes.
Now, you actually will remember Tara Buckman from a previous CIU ep we did, our Christmas special, Silent Night, Deadly Night. She is the mother in the car who gets, while they're driving, when they pull over for the fake Santa Claus who tries to murder them all, she's the one who gets assaulted and killed right off the bat. She's the blonde.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's her. It's hard to recognize. Now she's a brunette in this, and that's, what is that? That's 80. That's at least 7 years prior to this. So she looks a little worse for the wear over the years. It must be all that cigarette smoking. You got Richard Foster, who plays Sherman Floyd. You got Mel Davis, who's Detective Clark. Lee Lively is Dr. Willow. Tova Sardo is Clarissa, the daughter, and Gabby Ford is the choreographer who dies at the beginning. Now, you might be asking me, why would I
Oh,
include
yeah.
some of these people who don't have much to do with it? There's only 7 people credited as
Yes.
cast in this film.
Yes. I do remember being like, how can there only be 7 people cast?
So you have to just basically think that there's a lot of shame around people who had bit parts in this. Were like, fuck, they're not putting my name on that. The composer was the last thing, was Carlo Maria Cordio, who, I don't know what Carlo was doing, but basically, like, anything that's happening sounds like the intro song to Night Court. It's like boom, blah, boom, 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 boom,
Oh,
boom. Like, why? It has nothing to
yeah.
do with it. It's like they're just walking the daughter down the street. You know, it's like the intro to like a sitcom.
Yes. And they
Really
had that
fucking.
like insane beginning with the dancers, right?
So the dance scene starts out, and there's this. You know, they're at this theater, and they're doing this dance, and we have to look up the music to that. You have to hear the song to that they're dancing to. They're doing this
Yeah.
routine to. None of the dancers are in concert with each other. They're all doing different things at different times, not intentionally. Do this can't get in sync. One of the dancers shows up late, and the choreographer berates her. She goes back to change to get ready, even though she's late.
Right.
Choreographer, who's trying to ad lib, I guess, or can't remember her lines, but she gets so flustered. She's like, I'm nervous. And then like fumbles with like a cigarette out of her shirt pocket to try to light it. And then just like, she can't, it must have been such an awful take that they just like leave it in.
Yeah.
We can't do any better. She can't do
Yeah.
it. She goes upstairs. The dancer who's late to the rehearsal gets killed by this killer with this deformed, melted face and this Freddy Krueger like
Yes.
claw hand. And initially, you think that this is just some of the worst practical effects that you'll ever see. But of course, later on in the movie, we realize that this is a sculpted mask that this killer is wearing, and the hand is just something he puts on. I don't know if he gives him special powers, but he's punching through. His method of killing
Right.
all of them is punching through all of the torsos from front to back or back to front. I don't know. And this hand is not even a good fucking prop hand. Like the fingers bend. It's clearly
Oh
plastic
my
that you would get
God.
from one of the pop-up Halloween stores, you know, that pop up every
Yeah.
year in
Spirit
September.
Halloween.
Spirit Halloween, got it. It's just awful. And it's funny because they ended up going back and plugging in a lot of the gore scenes that Bruno Mattei was brought in to do that. So a lot of this didn't even have those kill scenes in it. It was supposed to be like a taut psychological thriller. I know, which sounds insane, but let me make sure. Fragasso actually says, where is this? He referred to this film as an intimate Bergman-like film. It was a great idea, a brilliant idea, an incredible mental masturbation.
Oh my God.
I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, but he thought he was doing something completely different than I think what you and
Yeah.
I saw. So you get this sort of Freddy Krueger like killer that's going around punching holes in women. Eventually comes upon our protagonist, Melanie Beck, played by Tara Buckman. You get a lot of prank phone calls with that weird voice like this,
Yes.
and I'm going to
Yes.
kill you. And he says, you know, right off the bat, it's just like, I can't wait 5 more minutes, Miss Beck. I'm too horny, which is supposed to be terrifying, but quite hilarious.
Yeah.
So she ends up actually getting tortured and sexually assaulted. And this went on for the better part of 8 hours, as we're led to believe, as we're told later. She has amnesia as a result of this attack and can't identify her killer. And can't remember anything up to that point. Doesn't remember her own daughter. So I guess there's no other way to say is that she's driving around. She's been released from the hospital, which I don't know why they would release you if you don't remember anything about your
Right.
life. She's
By
driving around
herself, right?
by herself,
Yeah.
no, not released to anyone else's custody. And she's just cruising around Virginia Beach, and the guy in a Jeep pulls up next to her, who's hammered drunk, and she flicks him off. He makes a pass at her, and then he decides he's going to fucking terrorize her and chase her around town. She hides in a bathroom. traps him. She pulls a gun out on him. She pulls the blicky out on him and tells him to strip and throw his clothes in the toilet. And then she takes off again. And of course, he takes off after her in his Speedo. And I do want to say here that that's Peter Hooton who's playing that role of Axel, that guy.
Yes.
Now, did you notice? Don't tell me I'm the only one who noticed here. Peter Hooton was packing. And actually, I hadn't seen it in a while. He's in like a blue bikini bottom. I don't know if actually, my theory was, I did write this down. Now, I took notes while I was in the Outer Banks on vacation, so take that for what it's worth here. But I do say, let's see. Peter Hooton's balls must be huge. And I wrote huge in all caps. I don't think he actually had a big dick. I think he had gigantic balls. It looked crazy. You have to rewatch it just to look at his package to see what's going on.
I'm probably going to rewatch it tonight.
She flees again. I don't know where she goes to, but that's what it is. She goes to the beach to commit suicide. She sets up a blanket on the beach. This is another one of these movies. This is a theme for us in this series. It must have been filmed in like November. It's freezing fucking cold. She's hammering all these prescription pills trying to OD. He finds her on the beach, at which point I do note, how the hell small is Virginia Beach? Right. Everyone finds everyone else wherever and whenever they want. And I had to look it up. Population is 454,808 people, at least, according to the census in 2024.
Well, there's only in this universe like 7 people.
There's like 7 people in this whole thing.
I'm guessing that's probably why.
Right.
They all know where everybody is.
So he finds her. The plot is really fucked up. It's hard to get the plot out. So he saves her life, but then he ends up taking her back. He makes her drink seawater and throw up all the pills she swallowed, which I assume would actually kill you. I don't see how drinking seawater would help you puke up any of it, but whatever. Takes her back to the hotel room, and then he basically tortures and sexually assaults and rapes her, right? Like he takes her gun. She says she's going to kill himself. He puts the gun in her mouth. Go ahead and I'll kill you for you, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
He goes out and takes a break, leaves her captive there, comes back with some fried chicken. He loves saying
French fries.
And French fries. Nothing gets me going like fried chicken is what he says. Don't know why that was in there. Don't know why he's pouring fried chicken on the bed. Don't know why any of it's happening. Anyways, you come to find out, the daughter, her daughter is now being taken care of by her friends, Sherman and his wife, who live down the street, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they're being interviewed, what's going on with this, your friend, blah, blah, blah. And of course, everyone's giving out a crazy amount of information over to news reporters that they shouldn't be. There was an incredible amount of semen found on the scene. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, you can't say that. And we find out later that the killer is actually Sherman. The neighbor friend, who has been doing this and for some reason kills all these women, but doesn't kill Melanie, instead just sexually assaults her for a bunch of hours and threatens to come back and kill her later. What was his motivation? We don't know. Who and why was Axel involved? The guy in the Jeep chasing her around and imprisoning her and also raping her? That was her ex-husband, who prank calls her also in the beginning. He's at the bar and you only see the back of his head. And you're like, wait a second, why would he do that? Because he was a cop. Their marriage was on the rocks. He was an alcoholic. Right. He's a cop. He teams with a detective, and they hatch a plan, or he teams with the psychologist. And the plan with the doctor and him is the only way to re-trigger her memory is to basically re-traumatize her through a very similar scene. So go ahead and abuse her and rape her and threaten to kill her, and it will re-trigger her memories of the event, and she'll be able to identify,
of course,
rapist number 1, which
sounds unethical.
Perfectly ethical. And as a capper at the end of the movie, she's back with her husband and their daughter, Clarissa, and they're like on the couch or in the bed together, like, oh, like this is great. And then Clarissa, this is another thing. It's like, suddenly it's Christmas time, which we're not really sure. There's nothing about Christmas the whole movie, but then it's like, she wants to go to her room to hang out. She wants to know if she can open her Christmas present early that was given to her um, at the beginning of the movie by Sherman.
Yes.
Okay. And he says,
Yes.
don't open it before Christmas. It's a surprise. Uh, so she opens the gift and it's the mask that he wore. And she puts the mask on and she starts talking in that creepy voice, Miss Melanie Beck, you're that, like, it's like, oh, it's actually an awesome twist at the end of the
Yeah.
movie, perfectly set up for a sequel, which of course never took place for probably
Yeah.
a trillion different reasons. And then it sort of brings into play the whole idea that, like, was there some sort of special powers for this mask? You put it on, you
Right.
just become like, maybe we don't need a motive for Sherman. Maybe it is the mask
It's the
doing the
mask.
killing. And some absolutely fucking tremendous one-liners. So
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
when Axel comes out of the bathroom after at gunpoint he's forced to strip, the concierge, as he's running out in his tidy whities with his giant ball sack, and the guy's just like, "What happened to you?" And he says, "I got molested in the little boys' room." We're not, we're not sure why he says that, but it's awesome. Um, Night Killer, of course, aptly named since all the kills take place during the daytime. Um, Not sure. Like, we just explained the plot. I had to watch it 15 times before I realized that was the plot.
Yeah.
Um, Sherman's wife, they basically have this sick thing where they want to take Clarissa, Melanie's daughter, and make her their own.
Yeah.
And Annie, Sherman's wife, says at some point she's been laid by everything in a 50-mile radius. So there's some real projection going on here. Um, let's see. We already said nothing gets me going like fried chicken.
Yeah.
This is another one. We mentioned this for Amsterdam, but this was a giallo style movie as well in the Italian
Mhm.
horror tradition, right? You don't know. There's sort of that murder mystery plot. The masked killer goes throughout the whole movie, and there's the little bit of police procedural also. So this has that going, which I guess giallo might be my style if this is what I'm
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
Um, what the fuck was the voice that Peter Hooton was doing?
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
remember? He's doing like a weird faux redneck patois. Like maybe he had never been to like Virginia, like Southern
And you thought it
Virginia.
was kind of like a Louisiana accent, but it's not
Yeah,
really.
you have to rewatch it now to like uh just to check that out. It's what's really funny is
I'm really
Tara.
sad. I kind of want to rewatch it and then re-record this.
We can do a double take. We can match this up with another giallo style movie and do a full length one on it if you want.
Yeah.
I'll do this movie 10 times over. Tara Buckman, actually born and raised in Virginia Beach, Virginia.
A
So
native.
she didn't have. She was an army brat. I think she jumped
Native
around.
girl does good. Comes home.
Native. um, let's see. I'm crazy about your body, your skin, your breasts, the way you smell. Jesus Christ, this movie is so fucking creepy.
And just the delivery of all the lines is just, you're just like, what? It's just so great.
It doesn't. None of it makes any sense. Everyone had their motivations are so weird.
And
Um,
I think it even just adds to it that the director was like really thinking that this was some like cinematic masterpiece,
that he
right?
really
Like this
thinks he.
up
Yeah.
there with, I
Um,
don't know, the
do you?
greats.
Well, this is another. This is one you probably don't remember, but one of the minor scenes, just to basically get more to up the body count. So the killer goes out to the bar, and again, we only see the back of his head at this point, right? So we don't know who he is, and he picks up this young woman who's just like, she's also doing a weird accent for no reason at all, and she's talking about how her mom always told her don't talk to strangers, and she says, "To hell with that old bitch. Here's to the unknown." She goes home with the killer, who takes her right back to his. He's like an artist, as we come
Yeah.
to find out. So he's got the masks and all this stuff hanging up in his little studio. And he puts on the fucking melted Freddy Krueger face mask and the glove. And she's like, "Oh, do you want to role play?" And so it's like Little Red Riding Hood. And she says, "Why, grandmother, what a big schlong you have." And
Oh
of
god.
course he ends up punching a hole right through her fucking chest too. She's dead. I don't know why she sounded like that. That was a great line. I did also have a note here that and this is a millionth reason why you need to rewatch it, is Buckman is, Melanie is lying in bed. Every time she wakes up in bed, it looks like she's wearing a Tina Turner wig. You just have to see the way her hair's done. It's it's like a perfect Tina Turner wig. Let's see, what else do I have? I'm trying to cover it all. So Fragasso, speaking of stuff from Fragasso, he also in 2022, which I haven't seen it yet, he put out a movie called Karate Man.
Oh, trying
Now,
to, ride off of Karate Kid.
I don't know, but you
Some
got
people think it's a sequel to Karate Kid, Karate Man.
He's playing it straight. This is what he thinks is. I'm going to read to you the description, okay? And I'm going to read it to you because it's also in garbled like chicken English here, okay? A martial arts champion with a first degree diabetes mellitus is passionate about fighting. The losing of the title during the Karate World Championships has him collapse to the ground at the end of the match into diabetic coma.
So it's a karate man with diabetes. What does Wilford Brimley think about this?
Oh, R.I.P. Wilford. So that's where we are. This thing is held together with pins and wires and toilet paper. But it is so fun for the quotes. It's so bizarre for the delivery. It's so intriguing for the performances.
I think it's up there with Killer Workout and Death Spa.
It's very much
Killer Workout is
well, and then you got the soundtrack, for that in this one. I don't know. I loved it. I'll rewatch all of these. This whole stretch for these schlock horror prime cuts has been my favorite things to do. These I come back to these all the time. They're just so easy to watch. They're so weird and offbeat and not in an intentional winking at the camera way. Like Fragasso thinks he's doing his best job. It's just classic stuff.
I mean, this is like Oscar winning to him. This is like top tier.
And there's nothing better than the outdoors on location scenes in Virginia Beach, and then juxtaposing that with the interiors shot in Rome. It's very much like Slugs shot in upstate New York, and then the interiors are in Madrid. Yeah. It's so great. But I think that's all we have for the series, right?
Yeah.
It's our last one.
Definitely want to revisit this because
we might have to revisit. We might have to do a full length one on this.
Yeah, I think we need to do a full length one on this. I think probably this one and Slugs.
Yeah. We need to get Jazz back. I think he had more. He left a lot on the table for that. We'll come back. We'll circle back on these, but we wanted to put these out. Highly recommended from me. I'm sure the same for you, Jeannie.
Yes.
Thanks once again for joining us. And if you listen to all of these schlock horror series prime cuts, thanks very much for tuning in. We'll come back with some full length episodes as soon as we can. Thanks very much.